Welcome to Survivor NSFW. I'm Matt Bischoff, sitting in my house in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jonny Fairplay, you're in Baltimore, Maryland. What's going on, everybody?
What's up? We are in Baltimore, Survivor NSFW live. We just had the finale. Did you know that, Matt? Did you watch the finale tonight?
Nah, I was watching Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, how was it? Was it one with Hurley?
Actually, I've never watched Hawaii Five-0. Dude,
No spoilers.
this is an unbelievable end to an epic Survivor season. I absolutely loved it.
But before you reveal anything, I'm a little worried. Do you think there's any chance we can get the winner on a future podcast?
You know, I don't know. That guy's kind of an asshole. He's like one of the most mean Survivor players ever. We've never met the guy, so we really kind of don't even know who the guy is. But of course we can. And we have some special things dropping Friday. Nick Wilson, how amazing. Spoiler alert. We're gonna go through the whole episode, but I was so unbelievably excited, Jonny Fairplay, that our boy.
I loved it. My only drawback was it might have been a little anticlimactic. Like with the three immunities in the row, I really felt that he wrote his resume. I thought it was going to be a KO. I didn't think there was going to be any votes for anyone else, and we'll get into that. But let's start at the beginning of the season. Night 35. We have the repercussions of the last vote out, and we have the search all across the island for a new idol that's coming back into play.
Yeah, it's chaos. It's like it's the end of the game. They're looking for the finish line. They know that idols have been played and there's going to be something potentially back in place. So everybody is up at the ass crack of dawn. It's like, you know, they got the black light cameras happening and everyone is searching. Everyone knows everyone is searching. And I think it's cool. No one is like tripping out like you're searching for an idol. It's like, if you're not searching for an idol at this point of the game, you're a dumbass.
If you ain't playing, you're losing.
Exactly. So everyone is searching for this idol, and the way they're editing it is like, I'm like, did Allison just find it? Did this person just find it? Because everyone's reaching in and they're making it pretty much like no holds barred. Who's going to get this? You know what I mean?
Well, I like we see Nick sweating profusely because, you know, Nick's still a little upset that he wasted his idol last time, which I don't feel if you have a 1% inkling it's you use the fucking idol. I'm sorry, that's my rule of thumb, and I think it's a good one. Ask Russell Hantz. The game is flowed. The game is flowed. but you do see Angelina. Holy frick. Finds the idol.
Well, she finds. Here's what happens. Angelina finds the clue to the idol that gives blatant.
Clue. Sorry, well, she finds a clue in a 100-foot ladder.
Yeah, in a 100-foot ladder.
200.
And
they're
the thing,
still measuring, Matt. Still fucking measuring this thing.
And the thing is, so she finds this clue. So there's a buried.
Well, hold on, Matt. Before you go any further, can I explain what really happened here?
Yes, you can.
Now, I don't know how you work with your wife or how other guys out there listening, deal with their, significant others, whether it be, girlfriend, wife, or whatever. But, I've been known to tell a girl that's a foot. And I think this military husband is to blame here. It's a sliding scale. Like, I'll tell a girl, just go a couple miles, and she.
That's hilarious.
She ain't gonna make it to her destination. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's correct. And we know, dude, from the entire season of David versus Goliath, that Angelina is like the queen of exaggeration.
What?
And we see this here. She basically she finds this clue, and then she ends up losing the clue, and then she doesn't want everyone to figure out what's going on, so she starts crying, saying that she fell out of a tree and hurt her back. So
I honestly think that was the closest Angelina came to winning the game. Was the sympathy that she garnered from falling out of a tree.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed when she first started making herself cry, because I'm trying to think, like, could I make myself cry right now?
I've made girls cry for years, Matt.
You have. It's because that man bun of yours, dog. Of course you have. Of course you have. But she loses the clue, and it's like, how I don't want to say dumb. I want to say how careless.
Amateur hour.
Yeah, can you be?
Lex loves when people use the word amateur hour, so if we can work it in 4 more times.
Amateur hour. It's like you are this far into the game. You are at this critical point where you have to basically find an idol to just guarantee yourself.
But Angelina didn't need an idol. She's so, her mastery of the game. She's Teflon, Matt. You don't understand? She's better than Russell.
Oh my God! One thing I want to point out is this. So in Survivor, as I'm watching this whole Angelina character play on throughout the season, you have villains like Jonny Fairplay, and you have villains like Russell Hantz, okay, and other villains throughout the history.
Again, you have villains like Jonny Fairplay, and villains like Russell Hantz.
But here's the thing. I think Angelina, like,
I think Russell just did it better. You're supposed to get booed. What the fuck am I doing?
Angelina paints herself to be a villain. She's trying too hard to portray herself as a villain, which she's not really a villain. She's kind of like a wannabe villain. You know what I'm saying?
No, she's the best. I love her. She's let me ask you this, Jonny. Down that final jury 3-part thing, and I'm going to petition. I don't know what's going to happen. We might get a revote.
Well, what the people that are at your live Survivor NSFW party in Baltimore right now, do you guys think that Angelina was this villain, or do you think she was more of a villain in her own mind?
Villain.
What?
It's a split.
I thought she was a saint in her own mind.
Yeah. It's a split. Hey, listen. She's great. She's the best. I can't wait to play 40 with her. You're talking about one of my main allies, Matt.
A lot of people have hated on Angelina, and we've talked about her in her gray Spanx the entire season. But she did not bother me. And the way she was edited, I can tell how she was probably annoying to people out there, or at least what we saw on TV. But I actually liked Angelina. My wife, not so much. But here was the deal. After everyone's kind of searching,
wife's a pretty good judge of character.
After everyone's like going, like looking for this idol, and she's crying, saying she fell out of a tree. We go to the first immunity challenge / reward challenge, which I don't know about everyone sitting there at your party, but this is a 63-piece puzzle that you have to solve.
Yeah, and for the record, spaghetti and cake, that's a shit reward.
Well, but
you're talking to the man that has enjoyed more rewards than any other player in the history of a single season of Survivor. He's calling you out right now. Production, whoever, Probst, you're a good guy. You're off the hook on this one. If you're listening, Probst, hi. I'm looking svelte these days. Let's talk. But yeah, spaghetti and cake is a shit reward. But Mike White did enjoy the wine. We'll get there when we get there. It's very hard to look for immunity idol clues when you're digging around with a finger and a half.
Oh, dude, yeah. So you get the spaghetti, the meat, cake, wine, and basically you have to go over some obstacles. You have to throw this like kind of like a
Grappling hook.
A grappling hook, but that's a ball.
Ball.
Exactly, grappling hook ball, and then you get you eventually have to
one
retrieve.
Of those in your backyard, Matt.
I do. And the cool thing, there's many facets to this challenge, dude. First of all, you have to make your staircase out of a puzzle itself in the staircase pieces. Then you have to get your 63 puzzle pieces. And this challenge was unbelievable. At the end of the day, Nick comes from behind and he wins this challenge. I was standing up.
I do everything possible to come from behind. Hey, you know what? You know, as cool as it was that Nick did a 63-piece puzzle, I don't want to brag, but when I was a kid, I would do 100-piece puzzles all the time.
You know what's funny that you say that, dude, is that's really interesting because my oldest son, when he was like 3-4 years old, he would sit there and build 100-piece puzzles, and he would do it and be patient until the puzzle was done. So I bought like 50 puzzles, Disney cars, Toy Story. I think that's a certain type of mindset that can build puzzles. And Jonny, honestly, I don't really think you're that smart. So the fact that you could build 100-piece puzzles as a kid is pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I give you props.
I got that going for me, guys.
So basically, we see Nick winning this challenge. He gets to pick some people to go on this reward part of this challenge. So he picks Angelina because he can't eat the vegetarian stuff. He's like, I'm going to bring a vegetarian, which is Angelina, onto it. And then, you know, we see Davey saying, Nick, you don't owe me anything, dude. Like, it's all good. Pick somebody else. So he picks Mike. So we got Angelina, Mike, and Nick going on this feast to eat some food.
We see Allison a little upset, and you know, kind of pull back the curtain. When we did the live show in Cincinnati, that was the night that Nick did the steal a vote, and Carl did the idol nullifier. It was the big move that switched the momentum in the game from Goliath to the David that eventually won. And we asked, you know, we couldn't air this, you know, on the podcast, but we asked Nick there, it's just like, why did you choose Allison? You know, was that a strategic move that they wouldn't expect if there was a steal a vote? And he's just like, I just didn't like her. She was annoying. I didn't like her.
Yeah,
And you know, and so we're watching. It's just like, you know, who's he going to pick to go on the reward? He didn't pick the girl he didn't like.
Right. Yeah, he did. And we see Allison really bummed out because unlike Jonny Fairplay getting the most rewards in the history of a single Survivor season, we have Allison who's not getting jack shit from the reward standpoint. And you see this season, and they talk later on at the finale about how much weight people lost, but you can see visibly how thin, and I think Allison refers herself as a bag of bones during this episode because
I was at her party last week, and you know, I brought my 10-year-old daughter Piper with me, and Piper's just like, Daddy, she's a giant. She could beat you at anything.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, not penis games.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, but she is very skinny and she's very tall, and you know, we basically we come to like Angelina starts pleading her case to Nick and Mike as, you know, hey, let's do us as a final three, you know, and we see that Nick episode after episode is talking about getting Allison out, and then you have Mike wanting Davey out, and you know, Mike, as we've seen, at least for me over the past few episodes, Mike is a strong player. You know, when I first saw him beginning this season, we start off the season, he starts running around like, oh my God, I'm on Survivor. I'm going to look for an idol. I'm going to do all this stuff. But Mike is a sneaky bastard, and Mike is playing a strong strategic game, in my opinion.
I agree to a degree. Like, you know, it was his move to get rid of Christian. You know, it was his move to get rid of Davey. Mm-hmm. And those moves both fell on deaf ears to what was the majority but it was the minority enough to get to get those votes to consequence. So
right.
he is personally responsible for Davey and Christian's exodus. And if you don't think those are two of the strongest people in this game, you're wrong.
Right.
So
right.
so give credit where credit's due. But it did seem that every time that Mike had a little bit of power, it's just like, hey, I got an idea, and everyone's like,
right.
We're there's grown-ups here talking, old man.
Yeah.
leave it to the younger, stronger, better people in life to make the decisions for the elderly.
Right, right. So we have, we got them feasting on their food, and they're sitting at the well where this supposed idol.
Yeah, it's like do you think that feast was placed at the well because Angelina was chosen to go with them?
Oh, I think it had to have been planned out because it's like
I don't have a problem with it because we needed that I mean, I don't know if you guys saw or nor appreciated as much as I did, but that water coming off that waterfall glistening on Angelina. Oh my God. Were you there? If that's not a gift, I don't know. that is a that's I'm gonna ponder that.
So what we have is we have Angelina kind of, I think she believes like, man, I lost this clue. So my only play right now is, hey, the adrenaline's pumping.
Whoa. Stop the presses. So Jeremy is at the after party right now, not allowed on stage.
Yes.
And there's a fan. I don't want to out him because he gets a lot of stuff signed for me every season. I will reveal this that I donate to Reality for Diabetes and for Hearts of Reality to raise money for their charities. So I'm just such a horrible person that I get this signed memorabilia for that. Jeremy refused to sign anything that was for me.
He did. Wow.
Really? Yeah. Just now. Just said, if this is for Jonny Fairplay, I don't like him, and I refuse to sign.
Well, you know what? His loss, dude. I mean, come on, dude.
Who are you?
Yeah. The Survivor, I don't give a crap who you are. This Survivor community, not only the fans that are behind you right now, that are supporting what we got going on and supporting the show, and the players, this is a tight-knit crew. It is a family between the fans and us, because I am a fan of the show. There was a time where I would have loved to have been at the live viewing party, right? So the fact that I'm able to do a podcast right now with you and these people right now is special to me. So for someone that doesn't even know who Jonny Fairplay is as a real human that is refusing to sign something is just absolutely ignorant, and honestly, fuck that guy.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say. And here's the deal, dude. I'm known as one of Jonny Fairplay's top 10 Survivor players that he's ever met, along with Nick Wilson. So when I'm saying fuck that guy, we know something's wrong with that guy. So here we go. Angelina is basically, hey, listen, Mike and Nick, I found this clue. I lost this clue. There's an idol somewhere around here. I have a ladder over here in the woods. We need to figure out where this is. And we see Mike walking around with
Pinky out.
Oh yeah. It's like this. I got my Pabst Blue Ribbon right now. Mike's like walking around like, where is this clue? And he doesn't put the freaking drink down. And I'm like, what is this guy doing?
That was shades of Jonny Fairplay from yesteryear. I was proud of him in that moment. and I was saddened that I won't be able to create moments like that in the future. But the good thing is I will be sitting there enjoying watching others do that, and I will be voting them out for their inabilities to hold their liquor.
But here's what I want to ask you. So Mike ends up finding the clue, okay?
Yes.
He's like, oh, I found the clue, you dumbass. And then he basically tells Angelina exactly where this idol is, right?
Sure.
So she gets the ladder, she goes up. If it wasn't for Mike telling her, she wouldn't have been, like, she claims, like, oh my God, I'm a strong woman. women don't normally find the idol, and that's totally cool. I'm psyched that she found it. However, you have to give credit to Mike, because without the piece of the puzzle of Mike telling her where it was, she would not have been able to find this on her own.
But she did say repeatedly, she was like, I don't know where, like the clue said, it was on a rock at the top of the waterfall by the well. That's not where she was going to look for it. Like, she kept saying that over and over, and then Mike's like, yeah, it's over here by the rock, by the waterfall, by the well.
Right,
Not,
right.
the 128 feet. I'm still measuring. We will get confirmation by the end of this podcast.
Now, don't get me wrong, dude. I like the way they filmed it. I believe she probably did climb way the hell out of the realm of it.
Up there. Did you see the dragon?
Huh? No, I did not.
There was a dragon. We'll get to that. It's in the final jury speech.
Okay, well, I did not see that, but she, she's the queen.
A re-vote is coming. This is worse than the election.
Oh my God, dude! Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So we end up having Angelina getting this idol. She's talking herself like she's a mobster and all this, that, and the other.
She's the we all agree that the Doc Father is a shit name. She's I don't, you know who she's reminding me of in retrospect. She's Coach 2.0. She's like Token Chin's coach. Like, Coach was a villain that didn't know he was a villain. I don't think I'm going on the other side of the spectrum in New York. I think she's an oblivious villain.
Well, that may
she's
be.
Coach like. Think about Coach and Token. I mean, like, the only thing missing is a fucking button-up dragon shirt. And bad decision by anyone, like, present company excluded, if anyone. There's some good shirt. There's some Survivor NSFW, the Richard Robb, Johnny Russell. There's a heel Johnny Fairplay shirt. Oh, am I rocking? What's this? A hidden immunity idol shirt?
Oh, that's
Matt,
all.
if you play your cards right, next time I see you, Matt, I'll show you where the idol is.
Spare me. I've already seen that idol. Yes.
It's 100 feet, Matt.
All right, Angelina. So we basically, Mike kind of, we prove that Mike is playing this game and is willing to do whatever it takes to lie, cheat, and steal his way to the end, because he goes back talking to Kara about getting Davey out, and then Mike starts talking to Angelina about voting Davey out. So Mike is really playing this cutthroat, backstabbing type of a game, and to me it's kind of quite fascinating, because I really wasn't expecting Mike to do much when we first started seeing him early on, but he's made a lot of big moves and really trying to force people to vote a certain way, Johnny.
Yeah. Well, I appreciated Angelina explaining not so delicately to anyone that would listen that she was the swing vote and how exactly that works.
Right.
Once again, just laying the foundation for that final jury speech.
Yeah. So
brick by brick.
Right after this, we end up going to tribal council, and the first thing that I notice is Christian walking in with a clean-shaven face and how much of a freaking nerd he looks like, and how much more badass the dude looks like with one of these things on his face, right? Yeah. It's like, dude, you look like a pretty badass robotics nerd when you were rough and rugged beard. It doesn't have to be a 4-foot dread like mine, but man, it just proves that men look better with a little bit of facial hair. He cleans up, and Christian walks in kind of looking.
Hold on, if we can take away one thing from this podcast, is that Matt finds men with beards extremely attractive. That's our one big takeaway. And I have a 240-foot dick.
That's right. So we know going into this first tribal council that Allison and Davey are on the chopping block. They talk about it this whole time. Nick has immunity, and Davey is like, man, Johnny and I, you and I talked about several weeks back that his confessionals weren't that great, but Davey, as the season has progressed and he's telling his story, he has evolved into one of the most likable and just class act Survivor players that I've seen in a long time.
A first round draft pick for Blood versus Water 3.
Oh, dude. Yeah, who would he?
Mom.
Yeah,
Davey.
I mean, Davey is great, and we know that
Davey and Mother.
We see that Nick is saying, at this point in the game, man, the bonds are tighter than ever. So the more it is going to hurt when you get voted out of this game, because you become so close. And I think in this season especially, Johnny, that everyone is playing the game, and there's not really going to be these people after the game is done, a lot of animosity, at least in my opinion. I think everyone is respecting each other's gameplay. There's a high level.
With the exception of Hot Cop Dan did go on a bit of a tizzy on social media after his oust, and I thought that might come into play on the final jury. And I think if Allison had been an option, that we might have seen the result of that with the Brachachos across the board. I'm not so sure that Allison doesn't beat Nick, possibly handedly, in a final trip. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But all in all, it looks like a pretty happy group. When it's all said.
Yeah, it's everyone in this tribal council is laying out their game, and they ask. Jeff's like, if anyone would like to play a hidden immunity idol, now is the time to do it. And honestly, I was, sitting on the couch. I was like, damn, man, Nick should give his freaking necklace to Davey right now, right?
Yeah, but if he gives his necklace to Davey, like you can't give you got to give up the necklace before the vote.
I know, but I mean, just leading up to this point, I was like, is Nick going to give his necklace to Davey? He ends up not. And Davey basically gets voted out of the game. And I can tell you this, when Davey gets voted out, he has one of the best speeches of, as far as I can remember, dude, of going out with class. He is a fan since he was 8 years old.
Remember that guy on the first out on Fans versus Favorites? He asked Jeff for a hug. pretty good shit. Just saying, it was a moment.
Right on. But he makes
shitty fucking gameplay, but man, was that a moment.
But he gave a great exit interview and just proving that he's a class act, and we'll see this later on down the road in the reunion. But Davey rules, he's and then they come back to like the live portion of the show after he gets voted out, and Davey is sitting there and he's like crying, tearing up while Jeff's interviewing him, and Davey's like, dude, I've watched this show since I was 8 years old. I'm really trying to get the black audience to watch this game. This is a dream come true of mine. Davey was a last-minute replacement to play the game. They were in Fiji, and Davey wasn't even going to be on this season. And they called
and according
Davey.
To rumored innuendo that he was a replacement for Cerie's son. We don't have confirmation, but as far as the speculation is concerned.
Yeah, so he has 40 hours to basically get on a plane and go to Fiji to film. So this is something
write his crappy bio.
Yeah,
that was a horrible bio, by the way.
But I think
if he had mentioned the word dog about 18 more times, I think someone would have sent him to a kennel.
That's hilarious, dude. But I think it was meant to be that Davey played this game, and I think that Davey has a high probability of getting asked back to play the game, possibly in a Blood versus Water 3. We shall see. So we come back after Tribal Council, and Nick is freaking pissed off because his guy, Davey, is out of the game. Nick had no clue what was going on. So not only was, Davey blindsided, but Nick was blindsided. And we got Angelina trying to console Nick and tell him, hey, everything's good. Everything's going to be cool. And he's like, screw this, man. Everything's not going to be cool, man. Like,
and he yells, she'll win. And he's right. I really think she, once again, we'll get to it. But for 3 votes for Mike White,
yeah,
add on to that the Brachachos, that's a win for Allison over Nick.
Oh yeah, yeah, and Nick is pissed at Mike. And the thing that annoyed me is we see a clip of like Kara and Allison, and I think it's Allison saying Nick's being a child. He's throwing like a temper tantrum, dude. Here's the deal: if I'm blindsided, no matter what, in any circumstance in the game of Survivor, I'm gonna be pissed. Don't call me a child for being pissed off.
You toasted with your fucking pinky out there. You were final 3, and Allison was next.
Yeah. So Nick
you
has
toasted your pinky out, motherfucker. You better fucking live up to it.
Yes, exactly. So Nick has every single right to be pissed. I'd be pissed too. But the thing is, Mike wants Nick out next, and we go to this next immunity challenge, and this next immunity challenge, some of the people are freaked out. Basically, there's these big poles out in the water. You have to stand on the pole. You have to lower a bucket that has holes in it down into the ocean to grab some water. You bring it up. You fill a bamboo chute. When your key comes up, then you can jump off your pole, and then you can go.
I had the first version of that challenge on Pearl Islands. And they modified it because Dara, she had lost so much weight. She was about 80 some pounds. Mm-hmm. She was just able to stick her hand down the tube and grab the key.
Wow. That's nuts.
So they modified it to where you were forced to, which, thank you. And what sucks is, like, I could have done, like, I made an early attempt to do that, but I used my right arm instead of my left. And you're not going to believe this, but I spend a lot of time alone. And as a result, my right arm's bigger. I didn't think about that. I know now. If I ever need to go for something skinny, left arm first.
Right. Yeah, right. Because your right arm is bigger for some reason. Yeah, I hear you. Well, maybe you start cooking on the Blackstone griddle a little more, and your arms will be equally as strong. But basically, we go on this perch, and at first, Allison's terrified. She's like almost not even able to like start the challenge. And Jeff
Mike
Probst,
White's not far behind. Like they didn't focus on it, but Mike White was a shaking little bitch.
Yeah, he was. And I get it, man. I mean, if you're afraid of heights and stuff, and your adrenaline's pumping, your lack of sleep, you go and you got to unlock puzzle pieces to solve. We're at this point in the game where there's a lot of puzzles involved, and we know Nick is actually good at puzzles. So
63 or less.
At the end of this challenge, Nick wins immunity once again, and proving that, I don't know, dude, like he's on a roll, and I'm pretty.
Well, he's the only player at that point to win 2 individual immunities.
And that's the other beautiful
up
thing.
Until then, someone different has won every single time up until this two-player stretch.
Which I have actually enjoyed that. It's great to be able to see people, whether it's a woman, a man, age, physical strength, whatever, different people winning proves that these challenges that Kurhofer designs is meant for kind of anyone to win. And it's actually playing out almost for the first time, because typically someone dominates these challenges.
I want to recreate these challenges and play against you this summer.
I tell Tessa, my wife, that I'm like, I would love to do these challenges. It would be so.
I definitely want to do like the 2 sticks and the buoy.
Oh yeah, we can do that. We will do those 100%, and we will film it because I'm gonna beat your freaking ass on that. All right.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I do have the record for most. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Right. So after this, kind of Angelina pulls Nick and Mike aside.
Real quick. So say it's me, you, Lex, and Big Tom doing a challenge, like the buoys, right?
Yes.
And say by happenstance you win. Would you pick me to go with you?
On a reward?
Yeah.
So who is it? Me, Roger, Lex, and you?
Yeah, like at your house. But like, you like it's for reward.
Of course. Dan, we're brothers on the podcast. Of course I'm picking you.
See, once the streak continues. See, we're doing the Castaway Watch Along on Patreon, watching Pro. You're just like, why do they keep asking? This is it, Matt. Shit like this.
You have
the foundation is laid at a fucking at a Survivor Live viewing fucking watch party.
Yeah.
I've already got you giving me fucking rewards. You haven't even started the challenge yet.
Well, I'm just actually trying to make you look good in front of the people behind you, John.
Oh, okay.
But we got Angelina. She pulls Nick and Mike aside, wanting to make a big move. She wants this to be some wild tribal council, okay? She wants to look good for the jury. Mike's kind of like not having this whole idea, and Mike ends up telling Kara the plan.
Just like he's got the idols, he's gonna do a thing. It was good TV. I mean, I love Angelina, but Mike telling Kara, and then Kara's like, I thought it was great.
And Mike ends up calling. I thought this was funny. Mike calls Angelina evil in I think he says like it's like the diary of a mad villain castaway. And here's the thing, I think that she's trying to portray herself as this villain, but honestly, if she's on an island with you and Russell Hantz and Abby Maria Gomez and Chaos Cass, I don't know. It's like an interesting dynamic. As I'm sitting here right now, dude, putting these scenarios through my mind, it might be pretty interesting to watch Jonny, Fairplay, Russell, Angelina, and someone else mastermind some plan in
well,
this.
Stop doing this podcast right now and tweet Jeff Probst.
Yeah. I will.
Everyone listening, stop listening to the fucking podcast. Tweet Jeff Probst. Reload the podcast so we get double the fucking numbers, and let's go.
Yep, I hear you. So
I don't know if that's how it works.
Yeah, probably not. But we shall
we'll
dream.
Just keep. You know what? Keep listening to the podcast. Tweet Jeff Probst, and don't even mention the other motherfuckers.
No, hell no. Fuck that.
Hashtag Fairplay for 40. Hallelujah.
By the way, did you give away some Fairplay for 40?
I did.
Merch tonight.
We got our winner right there. So the mug.
That's awesome, man. We
did a trivia question. I said who got the most votes ever against them in one season.
Cool, and they won the beer mug kind of thing.
No, he just said, "Fuck you, I'm taking the mug." I didn't come in for your stupid reindeer games, Jonny Fairplay.
Oh,
I don't give a fuck what suit you're wearing. I was like, well, all right, here you go.
That's awesome.
You might know karate. I was just fear.
That's awesome, dude. So we got
Kara. I'm just hoping to leave with the fucking buffs, Matt. I'm fucking. These guys are fucking. They're gonna beat me up. They're all right. They're threatening.
Dude, hell
it's a tough crowd. We're in Baltimore. I don't know if you've ever been to Baltimore.
Oh, dude,
it's where they filmed The Wire.
Trust me, I've been to Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
A couple, so we're on the right by the water. There's all these restaurants, but you start going a few blocks in, and you get to some shady areas.
Yeah, well, The Wire. That's where The Wire is.
I'm walking around. The cops have streets blocked off. There's like a lot of clubs, a lot of gangster people around. And my friend, we're hungry, and we have been going to some bars, and he walks up to some total ghetto chick who's like, she has got like a big large pizza, and he's like, hey, can I buy that pizza off you for like $50 or something? And she's like, hell yeah. So my friend buys this pizza off somebody. It's a brand new pizza, and we sit down on the corner, dude, in the middle of the damn ghetto of Baltimore, eating this pizza, and I'm like, this does not seem safe to me. So I know exactly what Baltimore, Maryland is like. I've been there several times.
We're at the Brass Tap, and it is beautiful where we are.
That's awesome.
Let's hear for the Brass Tap, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yes. So basically, we have, Kara wants Mike out at this point. Kara starts telling Allison this plan and talks about voting Mike. And then Allison talks to Nick, and they're kind of like discussing how strong Mike is as a player. Okay, and this is all leading up, going to this tribal council.
Yeah, and everyone is talking about how Mike can win the jury, and I'm sitting there thinking, I told them during the court, I'm just like, I don't see how Mike wins a jury. There is what I consider amongst this other survivors the unwritten rule in that when you win that $1 million, it's there to change your life, and $1 million is not changing Mike White's life.
No.
But I'm also the same guy that thought there's no way that Sandra could win a second jury for $1 million. So maybe I don't know the game as well as As well as I think.
And also, dude,
and the Emoji Movie was a huge flop, so maybe Mike White has no money.
that's true. But aside from all of those scenarios, dude, people respect gameplay so much right now in
Game recognized game
in 2018 that like someone, if they think that Mike White played a more strategic and better game than somebody else, they don't give a shit if he's a millionaire or not. They're gonna vote
all
for
right,
him.
so if I'm playing against Mike White and he's on that final jury, and say he plays a better, like I don't feel that he played the best game, but say I did feel he played the best game, I would say, Mike White, congratulations, you played the best game, and you know, see if Jeff will make you a trophy. But I ain't giving you another $1 million, motherfucker. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I hear you. The underdog story is always going to win over the heart of Matt Bischoff. So I get you on that. So right before we go to tribal,
Matt's give me his reward at the backyard challenge.
Allison finds this terrible fake idol. I mean,
where are we getting these arts and crafts supplies shit to make fucking?
I don't know. Because on my season, there was not a bunch of shit.
There doesn't need to be supplies. Cause she looked like she had a kit. It's just like, hey, you want to make the worst idol ever? Here's a fucking kit. You got $12. I'm like, where did she get $12?
No, I have no idea. But for some reason, she makes us this seashell idol. And
my friend used to sell seashells by the seashore.
Right on, dude. Well,
we'll be here all night, folks.
Check this out. This is what I find out. Angelina is going into this tribal, and I wrote this down in my notes. I find that Angelina is trying too hard to try to be a Jonny Fairplay. I really do.
Oh, hey.
And I specifically, this has nothing to do.
For the record, Matt, I would be more than happy to change outfits with her in the same room.
Yeah, no, I hear you, dude. I hear you. So we go to this tribal council, and Nick, talks about him being blindsided by the Davey vote, and Angelina is starting to play her game up big time to the jury.
When she explains that, it's like, hey, what's going on? Well, it's obviously Angelina versus Allison. I mean, she billed it as Ali versus Foreman.
Yeah, right.
And everyone's looking like, when? Where?
Yeah.
What planet is this rivalry that none of us are seeing? But once again, God bless her. If I think this season is not. I think this season is a top 5 season. I think it's one of the most enjoyable seasons I've ever seen in the history of Survivor, and I think Angelina's a part of it. Woo! So I really think she, you can say she'd never win a jury, you can say she might never win a vote. She's won my heart, and I think she's just fun fucking TV, man.
She is, because some of the things, whether it's annoying or not annoying, you're talking about. I'm remembering right now, if I'm going through right now, and you're like, Matt, quickly name some of the things that happened in Survivor David vs. Goliath. I'm going to say,
jacket.
Yeah, the jacket, the rice speech. She's the negotiator. They have played.
Did you know that she gave up immunity to give her tribe rice? I'm just saying.
So she's playing her game up to the jury, and Allison, starts telling everybody how Mike is a big threat, and Mike starts talking about dignity to Allison. And the thing that annoyed me about that comment is Mike has been the biggest liar from the past 3 episodes, yet he's talking to someone else about their dignity in the game. Dude.
Well, I thought the vote might have been to keep Allison and get rid of Mike White. And I think every word he said there, they're just like, man, I'm just like, I thought he came off as a scumbag during that tribal. And if I'm Nick, if the plan was to get rid of him, I change course right there and go, no one's gonna like this motherfucker. I mean, because Allison, I don't feel that Allison did anything to him.
Right. No, I don't think so.
This is one of his number 1 allies, and he's attacking her dignity.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, dude, come on, you were right beside Angelina as the two people I want to go to the end of the game with.
Yep. I found that bullshit that he said that, and then we go, and Jeff says, "Hey, does anyone have a hidden immunity idol?" And Allison's like, "Hey, I got this. I'm pretty sure it's fake," which I'm glad she actually stated that because it shows she's not a dumbass. She's actually a smart player. She plays her fake idol.
She is not a nurse, as that horrible shirt was attempted to be sold at JonnyFairplay.com, but she is a doctor, which you can get the shirt with the stethoscope for the take 2 on the Allison Reddit shirt.
Yep, that's awesome.
You know that I have like 5 Angelina shirts?
Really?
At JonnyFairplay.com. Well, I have the Angelina cartoon shirt, and then I have Strong Social Game, because, and then Challenge Monster, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but she gave up immunity to get rice for her trial. so I think that there's many more. You can see them all at JonnyFairplay.com. And you get a T-shirt, or with every T-shirt purchase, you get a phone call from me, Johnny Fairplay. But continue on. I digress.
Which is true. So we got Allison playing the fake idol, and we have Angelina playing the idol for herself. And when all is said and done, Allison gets voted out. She did play her idol, and Allison gets voted out.
Narrowly.
Yes. Yep. And I know it was probably sad for your daughter, Piper, Johnny, because I know she was rooting for Allison, and you got to make a lot of cool moments in Survivor David vs. Goliath with some of your parties with Allison attending. And you went to her party last week, so...
Yeah, 2 parties. She came to mine in Durham. I came to hers in Chapel Hill. Wow, UNC Duke, the world will never be the same. But, Allison, a great player, a great friend, and I'm glad I got to be along for this ride with her. And as I said, like I really think, based on the 3 votes that we saw for Mike, you add the Brachachos to that mix, I think... Amazingly, as much as we've been wowed by Nick, I would not be shocked if Allison beat Nick. But I mean, I thought it was going to be a KO for Nick. So anyway, but once again, we'll get there. We're almost there.
Yeah. So we go right after that. We go right to another challenge. Okay, and this is the one where I look at it as a ball on a roller coaster. It's a medal.
The Stephen Fishback JT challenge.
Yep. So
also known as the Jeremy Collins challenge.
Yep. We've seen this before. A lot of high hand-eye coordination, rhythm.
How would you do on this one?
I feel pretty solid. Like if you ask me trivia or certain weird puzzles, I don't think I'd do well. This is a rhythm, and because of music and BMX and hand-eye coordination, I think I could potentially have the concentration to at least not get out first in this challenge. But when you start getting
balls in your hand,
sometimes I do. So
sometimes
challenge,
you got to grab a hold.
I love watching a challenge like this, and we end up seeing Nick
I like
winning.
This challenge too. Like I say I hate it, but in real life I like it.
Yeah, and we've talked about this challenge.
I feel like someone that might not deserve to win could potentially win this challenge.
Yeah, and I thought it was Kara's challenge to win, and she got distracted because she listened to what Jeff was saying, and she screwed up and dropped the ball. And that was right when they were bringing 4 balls into the challenge. She loses. Nick wins 3 times in a row. Nick wins immunity.
Yeah. And does that for you write his, I hate the word, resume for his win?
Not necessarily. I mean, winning challenges is a great thing. But as we go along, I was getting a little bit nervous moving on to the end of the show of everyone's pitch to the jury. You know what I mean? So, right now this is he wins 3 times in a row, and everyone starts pitching their story to Nick because Nick is now going to choose one person he's taking to the end. And
I heard it was the 3 worst players in the history of the game from the pitches that they made.
Right on. Well, all I know is he's picking the 2 people to go make a fire, and we see people practicing making a fire. So he's definitely saying, "I'm taking Angelina with me," and I'm gonna have Mike and Kara make fire. And
and Angelina saw that, like Angelina is told that she's going to the end, and she's writing her acceptance speech for the live reunion.
She's
just like, this is it.
Right.
I have won.
Yeah.
I have won Survivor.
So we see Kara. Kara starts.
I literally love her.
Well, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I don't have a
You wish
problem
us
with
the best.
Angelina.
I know.
and so Kara starts practicing before this fire making challenge, okay?
Yeah.
And she's doing pretty badass. And Mike starts talking about how he has anxiety about this, and he's freaking out about doing this fire challenge.
So before we get to this challenge, now have you heard the rumors that there was contraband brought to this fire making challenge? Have you heard those rumors?
Well, the only rumors I heard, dude, was that someone brought Mike White marijuana on the family visit, and he was using weed or whatever. I don't know anything.
Weed for what?
I don't know. Just smoking weed out there. So I don't know any
What?
rumor. I don't know about the rumors about the contraband for the fire challenge. Explain to me, Johnny.
I've purposely tried to stay off social media. So if the rumor is that he used contraband to make a fire, like, don't you think that would be pretty easy to see?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
It's just I didn't see him with a thing of gasoline.
No. And
Okay.
I mean, how can you sneak? So contraband for a fire challenge, like what contraband would there be? Like you're doing there's no way you can sneak
Lighter
a match.
fluid.
There's
I don't. Well, Angelina went on Insta Stories yesterday and said there is no truth to the rumor of contraband. It is a lie. You will see. And then Russell Hands goes, "She's lying! She's lying!" And I was just like, "Well, Russell Hands, here we go."
Oh God! Well,
So,
all I know is
I mean, I will say this: when Mike wins the challenge, he doesn't make the move of a guy that if I win that challenge, I'm doing fucking cartwheels, and he's like, "Okay, let's move on." Like he was ready to fucking go on to business as usual.
Well, I'm gonna have to go back and
You
watch.
think he was giddy? Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. But all I know is Mike wins the fire challenge, and
Do you think the contraband was just someone brought him weed? Well, good for him. Like, how do you smoke? Well, I guess maybe they slipped him a light. So that's why they weren't kissing. They were too busy slipping the pots.
I don't know.
All
I know at this point,
called, Matt. I don't know if you know that.
Kara does not. She does not.
I'm pretty hip, Matt.
Yeah, you are. Look at your outfit. You got that outfit, and you got a man bun and a freaking hipster beard. You're super hip.
I'll be kissing later. You in?
Oh, that's hilarious. So Kara goes out, dude. Kara goes out. She did not get voted out. And I want to ask you this, Johnny. If you went out in this fashion, if no one ever wrote your name down, and you go out as a loser of a fire making challenge, are you going to be pissed off, or are you going to be cool with it?
I hate the fire making challenge, so I'd be pissed if I were in the fire making challenge, and then especially if I lost.
Yep.
So yeah,
I know.
So yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I don't see her winning under any scenario.
Yeah, I don't either. So she gets out. So she made it deep into the game, and she made a good chunk of change and had a good experience. So we have Angelina, Nick, and Mike in the final three. They go to a feast, and then they eat a bunch of food, and they're just kind of, reminiscing on the game. And then we, basically we're going up to the final tribal council. And the way these tribal councils work now is they kind of ask you to outwit, outplay, outlast, which, by the way...
Can I give you the pitches? Oh, it's in the hat.
It's on my hat.
Not available at JonnyFairplay.com.
No, but this is available at CBS.com.
Hey! Oh my God, the competition? Are you kidding me, Matt?
But
whose team are you on?
I'm on your team because I have ordered an amazing soft shirt. Orange is the worst buff, and I'm getting ready to order more from my personal stash of different shirts on JonnyFairplay.com. So check out all the t-shirts that we got. And Yeah.
Okay, well let's start with outwit, and let me give you the pitch just for, as I said, I think that production's going to listen to this podcast and watch, if they're Patreon, they're going to watch this podcast and see, patreon.com/Survivor NSFW and learn. Here's what I'm pitching. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I have a pretty solid argument. So for outwit, Angelina mentions the rice. I mean, if you look, Mike talks about the dozens, maybe hundreds of people that work for him. I don't think that helps your case.
No.
Nope. Nick starts us off. He's pretty solid, but Angelina mentions the rice, and I think it goes over like a fart in church with the jury. Maybe they misread it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So for the outwit portion, I give it to Angelina. Okay. For outplay, I only have notes for one person. Angelina used a 100-foot ladder and battled a fucking dragon. Now, I don't know what version of Survivor you were watching. It's kind of like the end of the Goonies when there was an octopus. And so very, very comparable. Angelina was great on the Goonies, by the way. She was one of my favorite characters. I liked her and Mal. So bam. So outplay, I give the nod to Angelina, and outlast, Angelina, she claimed that she arose from the ashes like a phoenix. Once again, I don't know if you're familiar with Harry Potter, but that's some fucking serious shit, dude.
Yeah.
And I called it TKO. Give this girl the $1 million that she deserves.
Well,
so plus Mike White, he made the fucking Emoji Movie. Fuck you. Nacho Libre, that shit sucked too. I don't even know if he was responsible for it.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. One thing I notice is everyone's, to me, giving a pretty damn good jury speech. Typically, there's one person at least that totally sucks. Everyone is defending their case, and Nick even calls himself the all shucks Kentucky boy.
I know. What's even listening to the fucking podcast?
I know. You always say, "Oh gee, shucks." You're imitating him, and he actually called himself that. And we kind of see someone like Gabby giving props to Angelina for the last woman standing, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe Gabby is going to give Angelina her vote. And Hot Cop Dan calls out Mike on his laziness around camp. It was blatant that Mike White was lazy. And I love the fact that someone's calling him out on it, because that does play a part. Regardless of whatever your work ethic.
I won't vote for someone that's lazy. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so he's calling out Mike's.
I've been told that I won't clean a fish or wash a dish, but people make shit up, Matt.
Right. So at this point, dude, everyone is actually pretty much impressing me personally with their jury kind of speeches. And here's the deal: the outlast part. Nick gives the speech again. We heard it on episode 1, I believe. He talks about his mom dying, okay, and from an overdose. He talks from his humble beginnings and how he lives in this podunk town in Kentucky to try to help drug addicts better their lives. And to me, that is a testament of the heart and soul that Nick has. That's why you and I love him, and that's why he's one of the top, nicest survivors you've ever met. And he's talking about his relationships he's made and all the stones that he slung in his slingshots and his winning the challenges at the end. He
knew the other parts of the David and Goliath story, which I think you get extra credit for that.
He did, but the thing is, man, is then we got Mike, dude, doing a great speech, and I don't know if it's ending.
But I feel like Mike was doing an acting gig.
Yeah, but we got Christian.
But it worked.
Christian's
it worked
crying.
For I was shocked. I mean, he fooled Christian, who is supposedly the smartest player of the season.
I know. Christian starts crying. And then as we see what I thought was funny, my takeaway from when they're ready to vote on who wins the game, I see Hot Cop Dan tripping walking up the stairs. Yeah. I see Gabby starts crying, and I see Davey is praying once again, which I thought I thought that was really cool, actually, man. It's like his faith is strong.
They were both living up to their characters.
Yes,
or all of them were living up. But I wouldn't say that Hot Cop Dan is a bumbler and fumbler.
No.
but I thought the hot guy that trips. I think it was reminiscent of his game.
That's right. So we end up going to the votes of who is winning this game. And our boy, Nick Wilson from Kentucky, wins Survivor David versus Goliath. I've seen it coming. I've been rooting for him, dude. And I could not be more happy for a guy like Nick to win this season of Survivor. What do you think, Jonny?
I loved it. As I said, it was a tad anticlimactic in that, Nick did win the final 3 challenges. Had to. I mean, this season's just been so unpredictable. I don't mind a little bit of predictability going into the final stretch. It's okay. I mean, I felt he earned that win on every facet, and I'm happy for him. So, I can live with 1 hour of TV not being the most exciting of all time. So
right.
This season, easily still a top 5 season. My big takeaways from the live reunion was that Nick is still that same likable guy that we've seen the whole time. Christian got his airtime that we knew he was going to. Jeff likes Angelina almost as much as me. Kara and Dan lost 26 pounds. Davey lost 37. And we got a Big Tom appearance with his 80-pound weight loss.
Dude, all I can say is this. Here's the thing. For me, the reunion, and I don't know about the audience you have right now behind you, but there was no bullshit, dumb filler stuff. There was no promotion of another stupid show that's gonna fail. They talked to everybody, dude.
$14,000 to anybody.
No, they talked to a lot of people, dude. They talked to Natalie.
And the vote didn't even come down to half an hour into the reunion.
Honestly, dude, this has been one of my favorite reunion shows because they actually caught up with the people that played the show, which as a freaking fan of Survivor, that is what I want to see. We see Big Tom, like you said. Is this a precursor for Legends coming up? Is Big Tom in the contention? Who knows?
We even had a throwback to the first person out getting their question. Like the last time we saw the first person out get a question, Francesca. Last person before that, Jonny Fairplay.
Wow. That's pretty impressive, dude.
That's what I heard.
And we see the preview for the next season of Survivor, which premieres in February.
February 20th, we will be in Cincinnati, Ohio at Frickers. Keep checking for information. It'll be at Survivor. I believe that one's going to be at SurvivorTix.com. Go to SurvivorTix.com. A little closer to February 20th, we will be in Cincinnati. We will have some of your favorite survivors there with us.
Most likely Nick.
Edge of extinction.
Yeah, most likely. Here's the deal. You're going to see Jonny Fairplay, myself, Matt Bischoff, hopefully Matthew Sash-Lenahan, Marcus Lehman from Survivor Gabon, Angela Perkins from Survivor Ghost Island, Nick Wilson from Survivor David versus Goliath, amongst many others. So we got Edge of Extinction coming up. We got 4 returning players. We have Aubrey, David Wright, Kelly Wentworth, and
Joey Amazing.
Mr. Joe Anglem. Okay, and we have a whole other batch of newbies coming in. So we're going to see how this season plays out. Now, Jonny, the one thing, another rumor that I saw on TMZ, there was going to be a live proposal tonight on the reunion show that did not happen. Who was that going to be?
I was going to propose to you, and I didn't get a ticket.
God, dude.
Did you?
No, I didn't get a ticket either.
Well, I mean, I could have just done it. I could have just gone, though. I could have Skyped. I could have done just like this. Like, hey,
you could have Skyped. You could have Skyped. I thought it was going to be Nick proposing to his wonderful lady.
I did too.
But
I think someone spilled the beans, and I don't think he wanted the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, which sucks for Nick because it could have been his moment, but, you got to keep your mouth shut. But congratulations to Nick Wilson, and thank you guys so much. This has been, for me personally, I have joined Jonny Fairplay, Survivor NSFW podcast, during this season of Survivor. We got a lot of great content on our Patreon page. We're going to have a lot of great guests during the off season, and we will be back once again covering Survivor Edge of Extinction. Jonny, you had a live event tonight, and thank you guys for supporting the podcast and supporting Jonny, and I hope you guys had this experience that is, to me, once in a lifetime. I got to play Survivor, and the fact that years later I can keep being involved in the community and bringing content and talking about Survivor with this freaking man bun Yahoo with the freaking hipster beard, I'm pretty stoked on it.
Well, Matt, it's my pleasure as well. I'm so excited. For those of you wondering, the Q&A on our Patreon this week is going to be the Q&A from the Cincinnati live show that we couldn't air before with Nick Wilson. So you're gonna get some stories that you're not gonna believe. If he made you cry tonight, he'll make you cry when you watch that Q&A on Friday at patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. And next week, right here on our usual time slot on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen, or if you're Patreon, you're watching the video, you will get our legends. So we will let the people that were non-Patreon hear on the free side of things who our legends picks were. We have legends part 1 dropping next Wednesday.
Yeah,
so,
part 1.
But until then, go Patreon, do the Castaway watch along, get the other stuff. We have 3+ hours of new content every week on patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. Get your t-shirts at JonnyFairplay.com. Matt, it has been a long night. Go to fucking sleep.
Dude, go to sleep. What are you talking about? I gotta be editing for like the next 2 hours.
All right, but
I love it. Thank you guys very much. Cheers, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Survivor NSFW.
Let's hear it.